everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Mafex Batman The Dark Knight Returns Batman and Robin 2-pack. This is the first time I've actually ever seen a Mafex 2-pack. This is going to be the first Carrie Kelley figure that Mafex has made. Finally getting another Dark Knight Returns character. Let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see, Batman The Dark Knight Returns, Mafex Medicom Toys, Batman Blue version, and Robin. Here's Batman and Robin, DC. Here they're the package. They both come with a bunch of alternate hands. Looks like we have a couple different slingshots and a couple heads for Robin. Then it looks like we have 2 masked heads and an unmasked head for Batman. A bunch of Batarangs. Very nice set. The top, Batman Dark Knight Returns. One side, got Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Returns. Other side, Dark Knight Returns, Batman with Robin on his shoulder. This is the 139th figure in the Mafex line. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here are the 2 figures in a bunch of different poses. Looking very, very nice. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And I did end up getting 2 of these sets, one of which to open and enjoy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch unopened Batman related action figure collection. And here's the entire collection of Mafex Dark Knight Returns figures. I believe we have a Superman upcoming, and I don't think they've shown us anything else. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out, and they come with quite a bit of stuff. They both have a transparent flight stand. Batman has 8 alternate hands, totaling 10 interchangeable hands, 4 Batarangs, a total of 3 heads, and a cowl to hang off the back. Robin has 2 heads, 2 different slingshots, and then 6 alternate hands, totaling 8 interchangeable hands. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll compare them both to a bunch of other comparable figures from Mafex and The Dark Knight Returns. So let's go ahead and start off with Batman. We'll start off by checking out Batman. Like I said before, he has a display stand, 3 heads, 10 hands, 4 Batarangs, and an extra cowl piece. But before we take a look at those, let's check out the actual figure. So this is a blue and gray version of Batman. He's got the yellow oval, pretty standard face, looks pretty good here. Square jaw, short ears. Going further down, his suit has those wrinkles all over it. Just screams at Dark Knight Returns. Pleated cape, cloth, got a wire in it. He's got that thigh utility belt. The actual belt looks very nice as well. Looks like Mafex's version of double jointed elbows and knees. Overall, a pretty standard, classic looking Dark Knight Returns Batman. He's in the normal standard colors with the oval. I like it. And just a closer look at his face or head sculpt. It looks nice, pretty standard. I'm really curious to check out the other heads as well. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with a display stand. Here's his display stand. It's a transparent flight stand. It comes in 3 separate pieces. When put together, it looks like this. It's got a large base, it's transparent, has 3 different pegs you can plug in the stand to any of those. The bottom, the post has rotation, it's hinged in the middle, hinged at the top, rotation at the top, and it has this clamp to hold your figure. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 10 of them. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And these next pair of hands, these are a pair of gripping hands with a very small grip. I believe these are intended to hold his cape when he's draping around in different poses. Here's his third pair of hands. These are a little bit more of a traditional gripping hand. And the next pair of hands, these are some pretty flat, outstretched fingers. And his last pair of hands here, these are some open hands. They could be grabbing, maybe throwing somebody. Just makes me think of Batman doing a violent deed. Now let's look at his heads. He has a total of 3 of them. He's got one blue neck to share between the 2 mastheads, and one flesh-colored neck for his unmasked head. He also has a cowl to drape behind when his mask is off. One regular expression with the mask on. One mean, exposing his teeth with the mask on. And then a normal expression, unmasked Bruce Wayne. Here he is with his first masked head. This one has a normal expression. This will be the head I'll display in this figure most of the time. Here's his second masked head. This one looks kind of mean. It also looks like he's kind of enjoying the things he does. His teeth are exposed. Just screams that Dark Knight Returns. And here's his unmasked Bruce Wayne head. It's an older Bruce Wayne. Looks good. Older. Grizzled. And he's got that cowl hanging off the back of his head. Here are his Batarangs. There are 4 of them. They're silver. They're pretty small. Here he is, holding a single Batarang. And you can fit him between each one of his fingertips. Dark Knight Returns style. Now let's talk about his cape. His cape is fantastic. It looks like maybe it's not long enough, but it definitely is. This thing is pleated. It's cloth. It's got wire on either side. You stretch it out, it gets very long. Here's Batman with his cape outstretched, gliding down. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 6.5 inches tall, which you can translate to about 16.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down about that far. It can tilt his head from one side to the other, giving him a good amount of personality. He does have articulation at the top of the neck, bottom of the head, as well as the bottom of the neck. Shoulders on ball joints, it goes about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, just increasing the range of motion there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrists, they can rotate, and they're going to be hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back just a little bit. Ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Good amount of range of motion in his torso here. His legs, doesn't quite do the splits. You can see it's a little bit obstructed here. Ball joint, they can rotate independently of the ball. Forward, pretty nicely. Back, not much. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle here, go forward and back, can tilt and rock, can rotate, and there's toe articulation. And here's the Carrie Kelley Robin figure. She has 8 hands, 2 heads, 2 slingshots, and her display stand. Let's take a look at her. Looks good. Got that really exaggerated flip in her hair. The glasses, sort of green tint. Very normal, regular expression on her face. Very small figure. I'm not certain how old Carrie Kelley's supposed to be. And yeah, she was drawn very small next to Batman. But I can't imagine she was like 10. I mean, Damian Wayne is one thing. I don't know, who knows. She's got fists, looks like double jointed elbows and knees. Cloth cape, pleated, got a wire. Really like the way they did the 2 capes. They look excellent. Old school Robin elf shoes. Old school Robin outfit. Torso needs a little adjusting there. And just a closer look at her head and face sculpt. I think they did a pretty nice job. And here's Robin broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's look at her accessories, and I think we can skip over the flight stand. It's exactly the same as Batman's, except the clamp is a little bit smaller. Now let's look at her hands. She has a total of 8 of them. Here's her first pair of hands. These are her fists. And here's her second pair of hands. These are some gripping hands for her slingshots. And her third pair of hands. These are some more gripping hands. They have a pretty small grip. They probably hold her cape. And they almost look like they're giving a thumbs up. And here's her final pair of hands. These are some kind of relaxed, normal looking hands. They'd be nice at her sides. Now let's look at her heads. They both have that crazy orange hair. The almost 3D looking glasses. One has her flip normal, and one has her hair wild in the wind. Here's her first head, the more standard one. And here's her second head, with the wild hair going through the wind. Now let's look at her slingshots. She has two of them in different various stages of action. The base, a little bit of sculpting on the handle. You can see the sort of brown rubber band part. This one here is completely stretched back. She's about to launch. Here's Kerry Kelley holding her first slingshot. And here, getting ready to fire and release. Now let's talk about her cape. It's cloth, it's pleated, it also has a wire inside of it. Can stretch out about that far. And here's Kerry Kelley gliding with her cape outstretched. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories. Now let's check out her height. And she is a very small Robin. From bottom to the top, she's standing at about 4.4 inches tall, which can translate to about 11 centimeters. Now let's check out her articulation. Start with her head here. Of course, you can rotate from side to side. She can look up and down just a little bit. Can tilt her head from one side to the other, giving her a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. She's got a butterfly joint between her shoulder and chest area, just increasing the range of motion. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. They have rotation as well. Her wrists, it can rotate, it's going to be hinged. Her waist, she's got double ball joints, one on her torso, up, down, rotate around, one on her waist, rotate around, forward and back. Pretty good range of motion there. Legs go about this far. Ball joints can rotate independently of the ball. Forward, about that far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then our ankle here goes forward and back. Can rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's Batman in the Batcave with his mask off, doing some detective work at the lab. Here's Batman on a Gotham rooftop, getting ready to use his grapnel rifle. Here's Batman getting ready to fight the mutant leader at the dump. And here they are, after a long, drawn-out fight. But of course, Batman is the victor. Here's Batman and Robin gliding through the air, in my poor attempt to recreate that iconic scene from The Dark Knight Returns. Here's Batman and Robin riding on a couple of horses, just like at the end of the book. These horses are from NECA Sleepy Hollow and Toy Biz Lord of the Rings. They fit pretty good with the figures. McFarlane has an upcoming Build-A-Figure horse to come with their Dark Knight Returns wave, and that thing should be fantastic. Because Robin is so small, she actually fits better with a smaller Kenner Legends of Batman horse versus the larger scale. Here's Batman, Robin, and the Sons of Batman gang. They're gonna reclaim Gotham City. Here's Batman with Kerry Kelley Robin on his shoulder in the Batcave. And here's the rest of my Dark Knight Returns collection. We've got a whole bunch of different Batman and Robin figures. Here's the newest one in the middle. Above that, we've got the Mutant Leader and the Mutant Gang. And above that, the Sons of Batman. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Mafex figures. Here's this new Batman, next to the black and gray release of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Then, next to the battle-damaged Dark Knight Triumphant Batman. Here's the entire Mafex The Dark Knight Returns collection so far. We're also getting a Superman and Batman in his armored suit. And I would be shocked if they don't release a Mutant Leader down the road. Here's Batman and Robin, next to a couple of Hush Batman figures. Hush and Dark Knight Returns are the only two Batman comics that Mafex has made figures from yet. There's also some upcoming Nightfall figures. And here, next to a couple of DC Cinematic Universe Ben Affleck as Batman figures. Then, next to a couple of Dark Knight Trilogy Mafex Batman figures. And here they are, next to the recently released Mafex The New Batman Adventures Batman. Now let's check them out, next to some other Dark Knight Returns figures. Here's the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman, next to the old DC Direct Dark Knight Returns Batman. And here, next to a DC Direct animated The New Batman Adventures version of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Then, next to the Mattel Batman Unlimited version. And here, with the Mafex 112 Collective version, here's the Kerry Kelley Robin, next to the couple of the old DC Direct versions of Kerry Kelley Robin. Then, next to the DC Direct animated Kerry Kelley Robin from the new Batman Adventures. And here, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse version, here are all the different versions of Kerry Kelley Robin that have been made in the 6 and 7 inch scale. My general consensus, this Mafex one is too small. And here she is, next to a custom Kerry Kelley in civilian attire that I made. Big size difference though. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how they fit in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here they are, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here they are, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. And here they are, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures. Then, next to some NECA Batman figures. And here they are, with some Mattel wrestling figures. Then, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here they are, next to some Mezco 112 Collective Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures. And since we already checked them out, next to a bunch of different Mafex Batman figures, here they are, next to a bunch of other regular Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here they are, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it is a fantastic action figure set. Batman looks amazing. I love the thigh utility belt. Robin also looks amazing, but my only gripe, she is far too small. On both the figures, articulation is fantastic. Their capes are just wonderful. The accessories are good, maybe not great. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. I do realize she was drawn quite small in some of the panels. For example, when she's on his shoulder, and it's very stylized. From that point of view, maybe they got it right, but she just sure feels too small. You saw her next to the Mattel and DC Direct Kerry Kelley figures. They're all a little bit bigger. I feel like she looks like she'd be about 8 years old next to Batman like this. So it's a wonderful set, just wish Kerry Kelley was bigger. If I were to rate this set, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It is a fantastic set. If Kerry Kelley was a little bit bigger, it would easily get an 8 out of 10. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.